This is a story about the little things in life, about how beautiful yet fragile they can be, and how they must remarkably adapt in a world where every day could be your last. We've got a shikara on the property. This is a story about two purple-rumped sunbirds working together to raise their young. A story that's never been seen so intimately until now. Stick around for the entire episode. We're about to become part of the flock once again. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenneth and this is episode 5 of Part of the Flock, a bird photography series where I'll take you behind the scenes and bring you some of nature's most breathtaking moments up close. I've been in the little run of Kutch for a little over 3 weeks. And I've been filming for the Deserts of India series. But there has been something really extraordinary that has been happening right here at the Run Riders property. And that is the active nesting of the Purple-Rumped Sunbird. It is so incredible to see. 3.5 weeks that I've been here, I haven't pointed my camera to the nest. But today, I am going to do just that. We're going to try and see what the nesting behavior is like and if these birds have any challenges out here. This tiny pendant nest, suspended at the extremity of a thin branch, is made up of natural materials like leaves, fine twigs, cobwebs, and a few other items. On the inside are two very hungry little chicks. Both of them live rent-free and together at 10 days old can gobble up hundreds of insects and spiders a day. The mother is right at the nest and I can hear the chicks on the inside. Oh, the father just came in. The mom was feeding. I was trying to take some still photographs of her. She was gone, and then the male just came out of nowhere, back to back. Life is a miracle. For the sunbird parents, building a near predator-proof fortress is important to ensure a successful breeding season. Step 1. Choose a light branch. And know that there's going to be some turbulence. Step 2. Make sure that the nest is hidden in plain sight. For the final step, leverage the dense canopy above for shelter. Follow these simple principles and life will become a breeze. Whom do you feed out of the two is another challenge in itself. And no matter which child has eaten, there will always be two bobbleheads reaching out and hungry for more. Catching hundreds of insects throughout the day is a tiring affair. But the cries of the little ones will always stimulate their parents' food delivery instinct. It's time for the father to head out
and hunt again.
Sometimes the photographer in you wishes that the nest was a lot clearer, just so a little bit of sunlight could hit it and you get this beautiful radiating different bits of its plumage. Then you understand later that that's not possible. And that's because the sunbirds are avoiding attention. There could be predators like snakes, shikras, and even monitor lizards. I can't believe for the very first time since I began birding and since I began my wildlife filmmaking, wildlife photography journey, this is the first time I've seen a nest this gorgeous. It's the first time I actually got myself to sit down and film them. You can see the chicks pointing their beaks outside.
Sunbird chicks grow so fast, they need a constant supply of protein every few minutes. With their metabolic rate going off the charts, their appetite is ravenous. The dominant chick claims its spot at the nest opening to increase its chances of being fed. As for the submissive sibling behind, it is a very early lesson about competition. To ensure its survival, it too must prominently display its urgency to eat.
Every now and then, before feeding the young one, we see the male and female perching on a neem tree at this side. And what they're doing is they're scanning the surroundings. When the coast is clear, they will swoop down, go straight to the nest, feed the young ones, hunt again, and do the whole thing over and over.
The submissive chick is getting rather hungry. It pushes itself to the opening of the nest and waits for either parent to return with food. But this time, the parents aren't coming. The chicks don't know why, but instinctively they realize that they must remain silent and stay low.
There's a squirrel giving off an alarm call, and that can mean a predator in the nearby surroundings.
Some lessons in the wild are taught prematurely. These chicks are about to find out that they aren't the only ones that are hungry. Alert by the alarm calls, the father tries to pinpoint the threat. He is yet to ascertain what the squirrel has seen, so he can assess the level of danger.
This could either be a mongoose, a monitor lizard, a snake, or a bird of prey. I'm just going to scan around myself and see if I can find something. We've got a shikra on the property. It's right in front of me. I've moved my camera from the nest. It's scanning for prey, just like the sunbirds are getting food back for their two chicks. You also have birds of prey that need to feed either their young ones or themselves. I have never been so close to a shikra before, and I am on foot. It is absolutely unperturbed by my presence here, just like the sunbirds.
The more time the shikra takes to scan for potential prey, the hungrier and restless the chicks become. The parents have no choice but to hide within the shelter of the neem tree. The sunbird chicks need to eat every couple of minutes. And right now, they're starving and being tossed around by the wind. The parents have a simple yet remarkable strategy. The father blows his cover and causes a distraction. Once he's got the shikra's attention, the mother quickly swoops down to tend to her starving chicks. This risky maneuver could cost the underdogs every single member of their family. The next part of the strategy is to turn distraction into diversion and direct the shikra's attention elsewhere. Their plan is a success.
This is some incredible drama right here. You can see the shikra just looking at every bit of movement. The way its neck just turns when it sees the slightest dash in its peripheral vision.
Thanks to these leaves in the front, the nest was kept hidden, increasing the chances of the little ones to see the gigantic world awaiting them.
The sunbird chicks must be awfully hungry right now, I can imagine. The parents haven't fed them for a while. The shikra just vanished. Oh my God, I have no idea where it went. The thing about wildlife is you take your eyes off it for a second and then you have to track it all the way from the start. Found it. It's moved away from the nest, which is a good thing, and I think it is after squirrels. I'm going to go back to my spot with the camera because I believe the feeding would have resumed.
The survival instincts and coordination of both the parents have saved the day. These chicks are in safe hands for now. And just like before, the show must go on. In order to sustain a protein-rich diet, there is a constant flow of juicy caterpillars, delicious spiders, and sometimes even crunchy crickets. All the food that the little ones consume must also find a way out. And Mum waits patiently to carry out the second half of her duties.
Oh, she just took out the fecal sac. How incredible was that? You have the chicks pooping in fecal sacs, which is this tiny little membrane, and it looks like it's filled with a little paint. It's so amazing how nature takes care of itself and you keep the nest clean.
Sometimes fecal sacs can take a while. It's like waiting for a diaper to fill up so you can just toss it away and be done with it. Constantly monitor anything and it's likely to take its own sweet time. The mother waits for more diapers compared to the father. But it doesn't mean that dad avoids the responsibility of nappy disposal. The quest to find soiled pampers goes on and on and on.
We have the female that's arrived on the top right. She's just stretching. She's probably tired from the back-to-back feeding that's been going on all day. and every day since the young ones hatched.
Over the course of the day, exhaustion catches up. Preening sessions in between feeding are necessary. And they happen within the safety of the neem tree because taking a spa is when the birds are most vulnerable. Many consecutive flights mean a lot of dust and debris have to be removed from the feathers. This is the parent's equivalent of me time. And as a universal law, me time doesn't really last very long.
I can hear the chicks right now calling out to mom and dad.
A quick stretch here and there before duty calls.
We have the female that's just come in, and there is a little bit of sunlight directly on her. Here's an opportunity to get an underexposed image with the spotlight on her and the rest of the forest in shadow.
Spotlights like this, penetrating through the dense canopy and exactly where you need it, is a rarity. Especially when it has to coincide with the arrival of either parent. For the most part, the lighting was rather flat, and that wouldn't make for an artistic photograph. Now I could either complain or realize that every challenge is an opportunity to try something different. This third image is one of the very few wildlife silhouettes that I've ever photographed.
The mom and dad have been coming every now and then to feed the two chicks. Back to back sometimes. There is so much you can learn from nature in terms of dedication. The mother and the father are absolutely committed to raising these two young ones and contributing to their kind. We lost that little bit of sunlight that was falling on the nest.
For all the little things alive, the natural world can be quite unforgiving. But when you learn how to look danger straight in the face, you could also learn how to overcome it. As for the hungry young chicks, it would be a few more days until they're strong enough to step outside the nest and slowly learn how to become independent. If you enjoyed this episode, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Your support will help me continue to tell stories of the wild and connect more people with the natural world. I'll see you in paradise for the series finale.